What's going on, Jeromes? We're back Monday daily Jeromes live stream. Now, not as happy as what would have been ideal, but is what it is. Thank you, Dan Bailey. Thank you, refs. The Vikings 6-7, the best 6-7 team in NFL history. Gonna take on the fraudulent Chicago Bears on Sunday. Playoff dreams, yeah, just right there. But as we outlined earlier in the day, I mean, this 2020 season, you almost write it off because of the randomness of all the young guys coming in, all the veterans going out, COVID offseason, massive injuries to key players across the Vikings board. Sure, maybe. But also, you look, the future of this team is extremely bright, especially if they do get their quarterback of the future in the draft, especially if they add just one more piece on that offensive line, and also move Ezra Cleveland back to left tackle because that's his natural position. He kind of actually stinks at right guard lately. Wow. Yeah, so bring that down. But the Vikings playing out the string. Anything that comes of this season is found money, frankly. And all the young guys getting some good experience learning how to win, overachieving, overcoming adversity. That all matters. Also matters is the December Teespring sale. Promo code FLAG, because there's lots of them. Fraudulently 19% off everything in the Teespring store down below. Go check that out. All right, so a bunch of Q&As. We'll give some shouts here in a hot second. First one, Evan Kisconway. Whatever happened to Kai Forbath? Thought he was pretty good when he played for us. That's a good question. So, yeah, the Vikings. So Kai Forbath kicked a 53-yarder with like a minute and a half to go in the Minneapolis Miracle game. Now, that would have been the game winner, except Mackenzie Alexander gave up the 4th and 10, and then they kicked a field goal, and then that facilitated the need for the Minneapolis Miracle. So Kai Forbath was good, man. He missed a couple extra points, but in terms of kicking field goals, kid was dynamite. And then they spent the 5th-round pick on Daniel Carlson, and then that didn't work out. And then Dan Bailey came in, and then that's not working out pretty clearly. And Kai, he's currently on the Rams. I believe he was on IR because he had like an ankle injury. But, I mean, this is what started this entire mess. I mean, the Vikings, they're like, hey, if it's not broke, break it. And Spielman and Zimmer, and I'm sure Prefer had some input on Daniel Carlson. They're like, yeah, sure. Chase and Gelke. Fox post game was making it look like the Bucks had their way with us, only showing the Bucks scoring highlights. Yeah, a little bit one-sided, even though, yeah, just never mind that the Vikings completely dominated the first half, and never mind that Dan Bailey missing 3 field goals, just handing the Bucks prime field position. That doesn't matter. And also, never mind that the refs took away Jeff Gladney's sick pick 6 because Mike Evans fell down. Also, don't mind that Tom Brady's spike was 0-0-0 on the clock, even though that wasn't even a spike. All he did was he took the snap from the center and just threw it down. That's not a spike. That's a fumble. That's legit. And then also the first DPI since 2009. Great. And also, yeah, they didn't call roughness when Devin White tried to twist CJ Ham's leg off, tried to make him go all Teddy Bridgewater on the sideline. They didn't call unnecessary roughness when Chad Beebe got speared on that first punt return after he was down half a beat, 2 beats, thwack. And also, yeah, it's great that they called Harrison Smith, though, for helmet to helmet after Shady McCoy once again lowered his helmet. Also, it's great that they didn't throw a flag when JPP just gave the forearm shiver to Kirk Cousins' face. Player safety, though. It's so stupid. And yeah, now we do like imbibing in conspiracy theories, but also the one of, hey, there was 0.0% chance that the NFL is going to let Tom Brady miss the playoffs. Understandable. I get it. Like, if you had two guys who played their college ball in Michigan, the Spartan in Kirk Cousins and the Wolverine in Tom Brady. You know which one that they're going to go with. Yeah. Next up. Actually, just zoom in here. Try to make this look all nice. Come on. Goat Kogi. Should the NFL add 2 challenge flags that can be used on bad calls or no calls to ease up games where bad calls pretty much decide them? Well, this goes back to the Saints wanting to make pass interference reviewable. I don't agree with it, but because I think it would slow down the game even more. But just missing blatant calls like that, or screwing up blatant calls like the Gladney one, that was a 13-point swing. Skull Zone. Vikings should sign destroying. Okay. MK Sconaway. At least there's a positive of BB holding on to the ball. Did he, though? Did he? Miles, $2 in the super chat. I think you got to break out the tinfoil hat. I would, except my kid, like, turned into a toy. Turned into, like, an airplane or something. Miles, how did they bounce back from this loss even though they outplayed the Bucks? Well, can't do anything about it. No crying in the breast milk. You're 6-7. Go beat the Bears. Zach Farmer, Vikings versus Bucks plus refs plus Dan Bailey is tough to see. It is kind of tough. And also, Dan Bailey and some of those ref calls did take the Vikings out of what was working. I mean, the Vikings were, and Dalvin Cook were just jamming down the throat of the number one run defense in the NFL. But then second half, they had to get away from that game script. They had to throw, and that's obviously going to be advantage Bucks. Tyler Newman. Oh, yeah, by the way, no one mentions that Brian O'Neill got his eye gouged. Yeah, it just sort of happened amazingly. If we miss the playoffs, whose jobs are at risk? Does that bring Zim and Rick in conversation yet? No, I think with the rebound, I think Zim and Rick are safe, especially with their extensions in place. I think Marlon Maloof is going to get his ass fired, rightfully so. Maybe there's a change at Dennison, but if Kubiak stays, which I have no inclination that he wouldn't, I don't know, maybe he'll stay. Yeah, I think other than that, Patterson's done a good job with what he's had. I think Adam Zimmer's done a good job with what he's had. Durante Jones has done a great job with what he's had. So, yeah, I don't see any other changes besides on the special team side. Peter Kopp, Dan Bailey, no. Ban Daly. Ban Dan Bailey, Daly, yes. Nah. Trump 45. When O.T. Hill left the game, my first thought was he slide Ezra to right tackle, bring in Brett Jones to right guard. Crazy thought, or does that make any sense? Yeah, absolutely did. I mean, the last option that I would go down would be bringing Drew Samia back in, playing him on the left side, which is not the side that he typically plays on, and then playing Dozier at right tackle. Now, if anything, play Samia at right tackle. I mean, he played some right tackle at Oklahoma, but just flipping sides, that doesn't make a lot of sense. It didn't. But potentially kicking Ezra out somewhere, that would have made more sense. Ross Pullins, Jefferson calling to come off the field 2 times on third down. I didn't see that. Zach Farmer, if he did, that's not great. But I didn't see it. Zach Farmer, it's probably 6 times where Dalvin was a shoestring trip away from breaking free. Yeah, that's frustrating. And Dalvin said that too, that there was a lot of yardage left out there where, yeah, when the Ultimate 2 comes out, I want to go back and look just like the times where Dalvin's just like one, just like, yeah, away. Shiver Timbers. How do you react to Vikings wins, losses? I see people where a loss ruins their whole week, and I never really understood that. Like, if it's a bad loss, especially where you felt like it was stolen from you, like that one, I don't know, a couple hours, just kind of like, you're watching the late games and you're watching Sunday Night Football, make some wings, move on with life. But if it's a win, I mean, that lasts all week, baby. Woo! Pulford Skull, 13, because it's already Monday. Hasn't even been 24 hours. Like, I'm ready to kick the Bears' ass. Their stupid, fraudulent ass. It's like, oh, Trubisky, he threw for more touchdowns and fewer picks and had a better quarterback rating than Mahomes and Deshaun yesterday. Bah. Don't care. Bring it on. I'm about to whip somebody's ass. Pulford Skull. 13 years since the last time PA was called on Hail Mary. 13 years. Score, get the ball back. PI, then score after the clock was expired. Get the ball back, have score, nail in the coffin. Ref Centurion Brady made the postseason. Yeah, dragging that ass. And also, yeah, Brady uncorked one good deep ball just so they can't say it was a full fluke. Please. Kevin Ace, are they ever going to free James Lynch, or are they marinating him for 2021 to start with Pierce? They still need to free James Lynch. They do. They absolutely do. Even though Armand's been playing better, Jaleel has been playing better, but I mean, there's still room. There's always room for Jello. James Lynch. Connor May. Guys, stay positive. We need to beat the Bears. Then the Saints. We have shown we can compete or be competitive against good teams like the Bucks if Billy can kick. Seahawks and will beat the Greasy Grimy Green Bay. Yes. Keep Skull alive. Zach Wilson. Did you see that Laquan Treadwell scored a touchdown? Yeah, that was the most like contrived, force-fed touchdown, but I'm happy for him. It reminded me of, God, what was it, 2016 when the Vikings were in Buffalo, and when they're still trying to make Cordero a wide receiver, and they ran like 3 bubble screens to Cordero inside the red zone, just like, please get in, because we said we could turn you into a wide receiver. Please get in. Evan Kiskanaway. Why was Conklin getting so many more snaps than Irv? Irv was playing like a backup because of his back injury. And also, Gronklin was playing great. That one boy. Vikings need to do everything in their power to get Young Hoku. I think that ship has sailed. Yeah, the pride of South Korea, pride of Georgia State. He's back home. Atlanta. Chargers screw up again. Kevin Ace, we need to start the bench Dozier campaign. Shouldn't even have to start one. It should just be, but it's unfortunate. Leart06. I would like to make the playoffs so we can give the young players experience. Yeah, I mean, it would be a good learning experience, especially maybe the Vikings will peel off a win. Never know. You never know with a stupid team. Let us know where you're watching from. I'll give a couple shout outs. I always enjoy doing that. Jodo. No one will ever know. Oh, yeah, by the way, so usually we're inundated with opponents, fans of the other teams after the Vikings lose, just coming in, you thought you were going to win, huh? Well, you didn't. We didn't get a lot of that with the Bucks, like maybe 4, which speaks to how many Bucks fans there are, I guess. No one will ever know how fair the officiating was. They will just get away with it, and the Bucks will get in the playoffs just like they want. Yeah, so we did a cut-up of bad officiating calls. We're not going to post that on the YouTube, and we're not going to play on the live stream because tinfoil hat conspiracy, because the deep state's watching, but yeah, it's pretty glaring. Sam Moros. You would think that they would have a player that knows how to kick if this stuff happens like Sunday. Well, roster constraints. Yeah. Game of Jones. What grade would you give out for these specific parts of 2020 Vikings offense, defense, special teams, coaching? Offense, I'll give an A, especially the way that they've been playing since the bye. Defense, probably a B-. That start to the season, less than ideal. Special teams, F. They need to fire Omar Malouf because there has been no incremental improvement. It's been bad, worse, bad, worse. Coaching, well, since special teams is weighing that down, I'll probably give it a C+ overall, especially with the slow start. MK Soundway. On that final drive that we had, why was Tajay out there? They won't put him all year, but one of a season on his line. Let's put Tajay Sharp out there. We'll see who was in, who was out, but it could be some of the heat was getting to guys. It could be some sort of injury, stuff like that. The Madden dude. And also, remember, the Vikings were in passing mode basically the entire second half. And the way that Kubiak is dialing it up, I mean, the wide receivers were streaking down the sideline. So you go run 40-40s, on that heat. Good. The Madden dude. Dan Bailey needs to get cut. Yes. And do you think Cousins played good? I think he did. I think given the circumstances, he did. Yes. The offensive line is not playing good, man. Well, it certainly didn't help that the game script got so that the Bucks could just pin their ears back and blitz. And also the Vikings had 2 major injuries. It's weird when Rashad Hill's a major injury, but when it's keeping Drew Samia off the field, it's a major injury. Of course, Brian and Neal going out. And also Tom Brady suck, or the corpse of him keeps it alive. Yeah, besides that one post to Scotty McKnight, Tom Brady was not impressive at all. He just was not. Shiver Timbers. This is the second time Kirk has been hitting the helmet. Nobody called it. Second, it might be like the second time that week. Might be like the 10th time this season. Andrew Keenan, first off, should we sign Evan Vinatieri? No. Second off, do you think Zimmer just got himself fired? No. Third off, why does it take the third quarter to get JJ involved? Well, it's almost like defense's scheme to take him away. I don't know. Fourth off, I feel like losing these games is a tank for Wyatt. I don't think you necessarily have to do that. MD, because so if teams see Rashad Slater as interior offensive lineman, I think he'll be the first to go. I think I would give him a shot as a tackle, even though he doesn't necessarily have the length. I just like that dude's attitude. So Wyatt may even be the third interior offensive lineman off the board, depending on how teams see Vera Tucker, who is also playing some tackle this year. So, I mean, the Vikings may still end up drafting in the late teens, or if they make the playoffs, the 20s, and they still might get Wyatt Davis either way. MD. Plot twist, Bucks paid the refs and Dan Bailey to miss kicks. Wouldn't be the craziest thing I've heard today. Evan Kiskanaway, bring in old man vegetarian. No. Miles. Oh, shoot, we're going to do shouts. Liner Skull score from Nodak. Sam Morris skull from Anoka. What's up? Purple Rain, Masal, Wisconsin. Samuel Salinger skull, Austria. Cody and Sosa, Huntsville, Alabama, down south. Pulford skull, Nashville, Tennessee. Patrick Harms, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Miles skull from Denver. DC skull from Chicago. You filthy animals. Kevin McAllister's dad was definitely in the mob, 1,000%. Justin Jones, New Bern, North Carolina. Mo Masri skull from Doha, Qatar. What is up? Let's see here. Kinda Toxic, Minneapolis. Stan Jones, Centralia, Pennsylvania. LC3, Blaine, Northern Burbs representing. Let's see here. Salad, Bear Down from Chicago. Good luck with all that. Bahia Megat, Oakdale. Jack May, Eastern Philly. Which is really just Western Jersey. Matt Haggis, Joke Wilds, North Carolina. Come on to raise up. Let's see here. New York, Holdingford, Birch Lake, representing. Woodbury, Vegas. Boise, Sweden. Leicester Prairie, Pennsylvania. Salinas, see Ireland, Browns Valley. Vikings were definitely in the Browns Valley yesterday. Skull from Montana, Knoxville, Coon Rapids. You guys are the best. Thanks for coming along. Daily Jerome's live stream, even though less ideal yesterday. Happens. Zero. What would the score have been if the refs had called the game fairly and Bailey kick or Bailey not kicking terribly? Vikings win 31-26, somewhere there. Samuel McMullen, what's the process to investigate the game from the crooked refs? Well, we need to file a lawsuit with the Supreme Court, and then we'll go from there. Griffin Creer, Irv Smith is looking like a matchup nightmare. Yeah, he was like Willis Reed out there. He only played like 15 snaps or something ridiculous like that, but he was extremely good when he was out there. Sorry, I'm trying to keep tabs. Just waiting to see if and when Dan Bailey is cut. Mahia Megat, do you think we need to fire special teams coach first and see how special teams plays, or just fire everyone? Fire everyone. Just get rid of everyone. Goat Kogi, how much did Florida pay Dan Bailey? First Jacksonville, now Tampa Bay. That's a good question. DeSantis, Ben Weatherly, Treadwell caught touchdown. Yeah, that's Treadwell caught more touchdowns than Thielen and Jefferson combined yesterday. Sam K, man, if none of those flags happen, we will won if Bailey misses all those field goals. The final score would have been 20-6. But the refs wanted to make have Brady make the Super Bowl. Yeah, they were worried, man. Because if the Bucs drop this game, they would be in severe danger of missing the playoffs. Cody and Sosa, why is this franchise so stubborn about doing what's necessary to fix the O-line? Like Dojo right tackle, please make it make sense. Well, that one was more due to injury. So you lost both of your right tackles they had on the active roster. You lost O'Neal. You lost Rashad Hill. You didn't have Oli Udoh active. I mean, you could have played Samia at right tackle. Would have made more sense. But, yeah, I don't necessarily put this one on the Vikings in terms of personnel on the O-line. I will put it on why he's still playing Dakota Dozier. Hutter Butter, with Dan Bailey not doing well, do you think we'll keep him as a backup kicker or release him for salary cap? The more I think about it, I think the Vikings are a little bit tentative because of what happened with Daniel Carlson, but also because Bailey has $2.1 million dead if they cut him on the cap next year. So, I mean, they may have him inactive. They may pull Austin Cutting, and they may have Tristan Vizcaino, the practice squad kicker, be active for a game or two just to see what happens. But now in the cold light of day, if they didn't cut Dan Bailey this week, I don't think it would shock me. No. Bassett Uber Allies, what are the chances that Bailey's wife divorcing him within the week? I don't know, 50-50. I would divorce him too. Patrick Harms, what do you know about Vizcaino? Can he be the solution? We just put out a video about him. Kid's got leg for days, accuracy, work in progress, but yeah, he can boot it. Let's see, he kicked a 57-yarder in preseason last year. He kicked a 61-yarder at a Jets mini camp in 2018. He kicked a 96-yard kickoff in 2016 at a coaching camp. So, yeah, kid's got a leg. Jared Lewis, if this was your team, what would the game plan be for the rest of the season? Run the ball, get to Jefferson, play action, quick development plays. Try not to get behind the sticks. And, Yeah, you saw when the Vikings just had to do drop back, one dimensional, just chuck, chuck, chuck. I mean, that's not their game. The Vikings should have stuck with the run even in the second half. Even though I get that they panicked when they were down 24-6, but man, they didn't have to do that. Miles, do you think they'll make the playoffs? Yes, keep Skull alive. Leitner Skull. If Dan goes, who would his replacement be? Probably Vizcaino or Chase McLaughlin. Landon Miller, I feel like the Vikings need a small, speedy fourth receiver that returns kicks and is a gadget guy. Almost every team has that guy. Jakeem Grant has it. Yes, I'm in. Get Rondale Moore one time. Westworld. We have to mention Rick Dennison. Man has an abundance of resources on the O-line. He gave up 6 sacks a game after being dominated by the Jags. That's a good point. Injuries to a degree. Game script to a degree, but still no excuses. Although they played lights out the first half, man. Landon Miller, screw it. Nate Kading can still kick, or just sign Ocho Cinco. Anybody can kick. Yeah, I like that. The Vikings kicking consultant for Dan Bailey is Nate Kading, a guy who missed 3 field goals in a game twice. Skolleen, what do you think of Kirk's play lately? Starting to hit pressure and run the ball. Even design quarterback runs for him, plays like that. He stays for a long time. Thoughts? I don't know about staying for a long time, but I think he's earned the right to play out the last 2 years of his career, or his contract. And yeah, I feel like he is better at sensing pressure. He's getting a lot of experience doing that, which is good. And yeah, just him taking off. I think defenses, I mean, because they just forget about it because of his history. They're like, he ain't going to run. Now he's starting to run. So now defenses will start to counter that, and then he'll have to counter the counter. Kevin Ace. Kind of hope Trey Lance falls us because he'll light a fight under Kirk, and Kirk will win us Super Bowl in 2022. We're going to be a dangerous team for years to come. I would like Trey Lance to fall just for Trey Lance to fall. Amano Casual. Could we appreciate the fact that with Dalvin Stein, Young O-line, the fullback run game is going to be dominant for years to come. That's a key trait for teams that won Super Bowl. Also, running Kirk is a version of a trick play. Say you never run any of those. They don't even do end arounds. Well, they did end around earlier in the year with Thielen. Oh, yeah, in Seattle. And he came up a half a yard short, and that was the half yard that the Vikings needed. If the Vikings offense being too predictable, well, I think it goes to the old school maxim that if you execute, that you don't need to be tricky, right? But it would be nice to have like 1 or 2 wrinkles thrown in there. Although, thinking back to Houston and Denver, I don't know if Kubiak was ever like a really big trick play guy. I don't know. The man, dude. Do you think that the Vikings can get some luck and Cardinals lose out one time? I don't think they'll lose out, but I think that they will drop at least one of the games. I think San Francisco is going to be tough. Let's see, who's Arizona play this week? Week 17, they play at the Rams, and the Rams may still be in line for the 1 seed potentially. Yeah, it just sucks that the Cardinals pulled that one out against the Giants. Well, it was a convincing win, but All right, so they got Philly and Jalen Hurts. That's going to be a good game. I'll take that one. All right. Next up is Sam Ross. Irv looks like a machine out there blocking and scoring. Yeah, when he's out there playing. Is Micah Pierce skill-wise better than Linval? I think that given his youth, like he doesn't have the pass rush ability that young Linval did, but against the run, he's certainly up there. Jax J. Domain. Do you think that the Vikings should sign Destroying? What are you talking about? Daniel Borshield. Why the Vikings always disappoint? Because it's in our DNA. And because kind of why Harrison Smith has to lead the league in penalties for head-to-head contacts, like the rest want him to go soft, take away his part of the game. Yeah, agreed. Landon Miller. Just got a record player recently. Any suggestions of what albums I should get? I've always had Sheer Heart Attack, Night at the Opera, Day at the Races by Queen, as well as Zeppelin 4, and Texas by Steve Terrell. Yeah, I was going to say Zeppelin 4. Ah, man. So this may sound extremely stupid, but Blink-182, Enema of the State, that record has a special place in my heart. It does. Also, I haven't done this because... So we have a record player. We don't really use it that much. But so we have the vinyl version of Dre 2001, The Chronic. It's really good. That honestly might be the best rap album of all time. God, it's up there. Yeah, it's up there, man. Do the Metallica Black album. Do Kanye College Dropout. Yeah. Thorvald Johnson. Dang, the offense looked good. And when they gave the ball to every player, including both tight ends and scripted quarterback runs, Dalvin is great. But as he pointed out, so many times in the past, running backs don't win Super Bowls. Someone decided to bring the team into the 21st century. Let's hope they stay there. Absolutely. Tyler Kurt. Would you rather have Blair Walsh, Daniel Carlson, Kari Vedvik, or Dan Bailey? Right now, Daniel Carlson. Yeah. Connor May. If they cut Dan Bailey, whoever replaces him, and if they don't look good, is it worth spending a draft pick on a kicker? No, don't draft kickers anymore. And don't draft specialists again, ever. Evan Kisconaway, an old name just popped in my head. Remember Jarius Wright? I do remember Jarius Wright. I miss him. Landon Hanson. Why does Dan Bailey have to ruin our playoff chances? Because that's what Vikings kickers do. Fake username to Mike Hughes. I get it. MD, Rick gotta make some moves this offseason. He makes a ton of moves. I found it hilarious where, God, what was it, 2018? Where the Vikings just signed Kirk Cousins to the biggest free agent deal in NFL history. And there were some Vikings fans complaining, how come Spielman doesn't make any moves? Yeah. Q does life. Also, you notice how like the tanker people like never submit a question because they know that I would just tear them a new one on this one. Do you think the new long snapper has been the cause for Dan to be bad? Well, he wasn't bad in the Chicago game. And what was the other game that DePaula was up for? Was it the Carolina game? It's possible. Landon Hanson. The Bucs didn't beat us. Our kicker and the refs beat us. Damn straight. Nick Van Andra. I'm honestly not expecting us to draft a quarterback this year. I'm expecting to stick with Kirk. Well, the Vikings have a plethora of mid-round draft picks, and spending one of those, potentially 3/3, they already have 3/4 on a quarterback. There's no skin off my nose, and there shouldn't be theirs either. Also, there's going to be a ton of value in those mid-rounds. Desmond Ridder, De'Ara King, Kellen Mond, Ian Book. Take a shot. Let's go. OTM Snipes. What's wrong with our pass protection? It can get got, especially when Dakota Dozier and Drew Samir are out there. Pulford Skull. The team actually played pretty good. Here's my takeaways. Kirk got beat up all day. Dalvin gashed them. Defense did okay. Not much pressure. I think Brady only got pressured 3 times, which is just sad. Special teams coach Bailey should be fired. Yes. Refs suck yet again. Yes. JJ needs the ball. Yes. Absolutely. Pitsley. Why is Dakota Dozier still starting? He's got the pictures. Big Papa Chase. Do the Vikings need a new offensive line coach? I don't know if they replace Dennison with Kubiak there. I think that there's just too much loyalty. And also, I mean, the Vikings offensive line is one of the best run blocking lines in the league. They just have to get their ish together pass blocking. It's looked decent at times, but also at times it just completely fell apart. Lily Emma, what part did you hate most about this game? Probably that clown shoes sequence where they took away the Gladney pick 6, as well as they called the first DPI on a Hail Mary since 2009. And also, Tom Brady didn't spike the ball. He fumbled it. How do you think we'll finish out the season? I think they'll win out. Face. Worried about any upcoming games? Nah, can't worry about anything at this point. Saints are eminently beatable. The Bears are the biggest frauds in NFL history, and Detroit are the freaking Lions. So, no. Woo! Leon R 2006 deep dish pizza for hot dish this week. Yes, we already filmed it. Just had to add the commentary. Actually, I'm thinking about doing this where just running the raw footage and then just talking ish about the Bears the whole time. Not even talking about the pizza because I don't care. Like again, we get some comments. Hey, what about the recipe? You're adults. You figure it out. You see all the ingredients and then you do it. That's what it is. Miles. Is the NFL going to make Harrison retire? These calls are terrible. I'm worried he'll get sick of it and leave. I mean, Harrison has always struck me as a guy who would retire early. I mean, he's got a lot of interest outside of football. Super low-key guy. Yeah, if they're going to call it like this, maybe he would. Pulford Skull, 45 years ago, Vikings fan knocked out a rep with a whiskey bottle after a non-call that cost him the game. Now I know the rest screws weekly, but seriously, let it go. Yeah, it's so after the Drew Pearson push-off at the Met, not the Hail Mary, the push-off. One of the refs got crowned by like a empty bottle of Jack Daniels. Which is, I know that probably shouldn't happen. And if that happened today in the age of social media, it would be like, tis, 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 tis. But that's hilarious. Leonard 06. Now let's defund the refs. Damn straight. Have social workers ref. What's the deal? If you could only pick one jersey to own Vikings, what would it be? Well, I do have a standing policy that grown men shouldn't have a jersey of a player that's younger than them. It's just a weird thing. If I did get a current one, it would probably be Jefferson. Shit, yeah. But old school, actually, I would love like a Randy Moss, like old school throwback, like Fran Tarkenton era Randy Moss jersey. If that makes sense. Or hell, even like a modern Randy Moss jersey would look good. About to buy. I have zero faith in this coach staff because Oli Udoh inactive, even though he shut down Khalil Mack. But Drew Samia got to play despite being the worst guard in the NFL history. That's fair. That's fair, dog. Zach Ballas. Still not worried about this team. This team has the ability to take care of business. Look at 7 seed, go to Lambeau, go to New Orleans, and get the revenge game in Tampa. Damn straight. Let's go. Woo. D. Riconic. Do you think we'll draft a kicker this offseason? Sarah Fuller, maybe? So it's funny. I was talking with the wife, and I was like, yeah, the Vikings kicker missed four kicks. And she's like, well, buy a kicker. And then I was like, oh, he missed 3 last week, and they kept him. And she's like, hey, they should get that lady kicker from like high school or college or whatever. The wife's sports consumption is very, very like osmosis wise. But I mean, Sarah Fuller would have made the extra point. Like, I don't know about the longer field goals because Vanderbilt didn't even give her a shot on those because they had the other guy kick like 39-yarder. So I don't know if she makes the field goals, but she makes that extra point at least. Zach Ballas, Browns win the division. Maybe. I mean, with the Steelers flopping all over the place, maybe. And they play week 17, don't they? Yeah, they play week 17. Pittsburgh already spanked them once. OG 38-7. Stefanski's used to that. But no, they got a shot. Browns looking good. Love me some Stefanski. Astro Zio, do you think we should sign a new kicker to our team and keep Bailey so we have to kick and bail? Nah. No. Nah. Although, I mean, Vizcaino is pretty damn good. Yeah, Vizcaino's on the practice squad. Remember, they had Chase McLaughlin on there for a long time earlier, so I don't know. God, maybe they should just cut him. Yeah. Next up, Westworld. Something is up with Cook health-wise. Man slides better than Kirky. I think that was just a one-off thing. I think he realized, like, there's no more yardage here. We'll just give up. Tyler Kurt. What are some kickers we get? Vizcaino. Chase McLaughlin in the arms of an angel. Sam Moros, do you think Michael Pierce will opt out again? That's actually a good question. I think with the vaccine, probably not. As well as since I understand why players, especially ones with underlying conditions, opted out before the season because there's a lot of unknowns. In retrospect, should he have? I mean, that's his decision, but, So, yeah, I think he'd be back next year. Also, they probably won't get that stipend if they opt out for 2021. They probably won't have that in place. Carter Jensen. What do you think will happen to Bailey? I mean, emotionally, the knee-jerk was cut him, but given the Vikings' track record, I actually could see them hanging on. Or actually, in lieu of their track record, since they screwed up with Carlson last time. RM, who's the guy the Vikings should draft in the first round? Probably offensive line. Darisaw is interesting. Although, I think they should focus on interior offensive line because I think Ezra Cleveland needs to be a left tackle. I think he just does. The anchor is pretty suspect. Like, it was fun for a while, but then William Golston and Ndamukong Suh just ate his lunch. I mean, he doesn't have the anchor. He doesn't play low enough to the ground, which are the concerns that we brought up this entire time. He's a left tackle. He is. So, focusing on Wyatt Davis, maybe Rashad Slater, maybe Vera Tucker, maybe Leatherwood up to no good. He could certainly kick inside as well. He initially started his time there at Alabama inside. Zion Johnson, ZJ, no matter what. Is the NFL going to continue to sweep blatantly obvious officiating biases under the rug? Yes, it will. Tyler Newman, can we explore a trade for Deshaun Watson further? I mean, I would love it. Probably not going to happen. Connor Mate, you boy. Skull. I think we just step on the brake a bit with the hate for Bailey. No, you have one job. Do it. Thor Van Johnson, unleash the offense. It kind of did, and then they stopped running it. Ghost, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad were the refs yesterday? 55. Gerald Smith, do you agree if it's not the kicker, then it's finding a quarterback that, and if it ain't that, it's the defensive that doesn't show up? It's always something. Yeah. But that's it. That's the Daily Jeromes live stream. You guys are the best. Thank you very much for coming along. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Also promo code FLAG down in the Teespring store. Get yourself a shirt, a hoodie, a mug, whatever. 19% off everything. We'll be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Time. You guys are the best. Skull, production value.